Hi guys, and welcome back to the MedBee vlog channel. Today we're doing something a bit different. So I'm back at my old university, which is UCLan in Preston, and we have my lovely ex-coursemate here, Shahad, who I did neuroscience with. And then Shahad, do you want to tell everyone what you're doing now?
Right, at the moment I'm doing a PhD, which is, I suppose you could say, it's molecular neurobiology. I'm looking at vesicle exocytosis and certain pathways, and specifically kiss and run, which is quite a contentious issue. But we'll see how things go and see what data I collect in the next few years.
Yay! Just for the kind of non-science people out there, what is vesicle exocytosis?
So we know that neurons communicate through releasing transmitters. I'm studying glutamate neurons because I want the cerebral cortex, and quite 80% are glutamate within that area. So basically, so the neuron can transmit messages. It is the secretion of these neurotransmitters, and it's the way in which it is released from one neuron into a gap to be picked up by another neuron.
Sweet, that sounds really cool. So why did you pick neuroscience as your undergraduate degree?
For me, I love humans and the way in which they behave, so that was always intriguing. I did psychology at a lower level, but then wanted to take it more sciencey, so to understand the nervous system. And of course, when it comes to diseases, they are quite prevalent, the neurodegenerative diseases, which obviously my aim is to contribute towards the field, to alleviate the suffering of those who are unfortunate enough to struggle with these diseases.
So it's quite nice because you're going to be in the research end and I'll be on the cure end. Yes. Like, future collab here. And so, like, one of the things that we talked about when we were in first year a long time ago was medicine. So quite a lot of our course wanted to go into medicine, and you were one of them. So why did you originally want to go?
I would love to be able to apply medical practice, as in if I could jump straight to neurology, that would be fantastic. But because I'm a more mature student, having the thought of having to do 4 years of general medical, for me, I don't have time. It's not on my side, and I want to make a contribution towards the field. And I'm not particularly interested in the other areas of medicine either. It doesn't intrigue me, and so it would be disingenuous of me to spend 4 years doing something that I don't have a passion for, that takes a lot of commitment, and a lot of hours of work. So there are other people who do have the drive for that, which more suited. So for me, I think after analysing the reality of doing that, it's better for me to stay in academia and research. So
it's the time sort of pressure that kind of drove you away from not
if
following
I was
the medicine
10 years
route.
younger, maybe I would have done, but because I am more mature, for me it's definitely
different.
better.
Yeah. So how do you find doing a PhD in comparison to the undergraduate?
Absolutely amazing, because I'm now narrowing down in the field. So what I'm really interested in, so I don't need to waste brain cells and have that capacity used up on things that I'm not that interested in, so it's more specialised, and of course I'm seeing results. So all those thoughts, ideas and everything else that I thought, if I did this, maybe it would show this, that's what I love. The crafting of the research is absolutely fantastic.
So it's like kind of getting to do your own thing that you love most about PhD.
Okay. And of course I'm disciplined anyway. It's on my back, be it. So obviously, I don't need someone to tell me or to give me, this deadline for that or the other. And that's the nature of the game with research. Sometimes you will get the data that you want, and other times you might hit brick walls. But you have to have a passion for what you're studying to keep going. That's the thing. So
what stage of your PhD are you at the moment?
Well, I've done obviously my RPA was accepted, and that's all done.
RPA?
That's your research proposals.
Okay.
Everything has been accepted.
Yay.
I've collected some fantastic data up to now. I'm going to do a presentation at a PGR seminar, which is postgraduate seminar that we do here quite regularly. So that will be nice. And I hope that just after October that I will transfer from what would be MPhil to PhD, so then 2 years off, because the PhD should take you 3 years, which is why you can't do an MRes and then do your PhD in 2 years. That wouldn't really work out so well. So
So will you get a master's degree out the PhD as well?
It's not individual, no.
Okay,
no,
so it's like cumulative A-levels.
Yeah. So I'll have the PhD, which for me, the only benefit to me having done an MRes, for example, would have been if I wanted to go on and do a PhD in another area.
Okay.
Which I definitely don't.
No. So you like your physicals.
Yeah. So that's it. For me, I'm focused on what I'm doing, and that's it. And of course now, alongside my PhD, I'm also teaching. I'm doing some senior demonstrator work. So exciting times. I'm doing a lot of immunohistochemistry with students, and we've set up a new lab using Drosophila. So we're breeding and we're using those which haven't been done here before. So that's been exciting.
For the people out there, Drosophila are like tiny little flies, and there's a picture down here which I'll take a picture of and put in the video. Drosophila melalogangst.
That's the one. Yeah.
Okay, was that the actual?
But they're fruit flies. You can call them fruit flies. They're 2 millimeters. They're very tiny. So under a microscope, I have to take out what is their brain matter, which is like a mushroom body. So it takes a lot of dexterity in order to do that, to take off the eye sockets. There are videos out there on YouTube as well of people doing that.
It's like these are like the size of a grain of rice, just for
the overall fly is, but the brain is even smaller. It's like a pinhead.
Yeah.
So it does take a lot of patience, and it does, practice makes perfect with that. But absolutely nothing to do with my PhD. But that said, long term, it's great for collaboration projects, and obviously using Drosophila, because there's so much written work on Drosophila. It's very good for us to have transgenic models as well. So
when we get to the end of the PhD and you're like Dr. Shahad walking around, what do you want to do? Like, will you stay at UCLan? Will you move?
Yeah, I think long term, for me, I want to stay in research and academia. UCLan, it works well for me. I enjoy the university. I enjoy the staff that work here, the future collaboration that is possible with those members of staff as well. And of course there is the opportunity for me to teach as well. I've had 3 years teaching experience here, so I would hope that I would be forerunner for any job opportunities that did come up. I would like to at some point maybe do something in the Middle East, but I'm not in any rush for that. So it's just long term, maybe do some work out there, even if that's collaboration. But we shall see. But either way, I am staying in research and academia.
You love it that much.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
Okay, so kind of to round off, if you had one tip for someone who, I'd say was going to pursue a PhD, what would be the one tip that you'd give them?
I think as long as they're certain on the area that they've chosen, you really do have to have a passion for what you're doing, because there will be times where it becomes very difficult, and if you don't have that underlying passion, you might give up, and that would be the hardest thing, that you've wasted your time. Of course it costs money as well, and you're out of pocket, and for what reason? So it's really making sure that the topic that you're choosing, the field, the area is really suited to you. That's it. With a master's, you can maybe play around a little bit more and find yourself and what techniques you want to learn and what you want to do, and there's a lot of taught masters that can give you those techniques, a broad scope. Like here at UCLan, there is a Neuroscience Masters. It's taught, so you get the first 6 months in the classroom, you learn lots of different techniques, and then you will be presented with the various people will bring forward research projects, and you get to choose who you do your research project with. So that's good, because it gives you, like with a medical degree, you get to go over different departments, and then you can choose to specialise. In a sense, that master's could be a stopgap for that. So if you're unsure about what you want to do long term,
go for the masters.
Possibly go for that taught masters option as well. And so you're giving yourself a bit of time. Yeah,
I just think it's the same with like pursuing a kind of medical doctor as well. Like I think having that passion behind you makes a degree easier, and you're going to get through it.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I think it makes you a better doctor in the long run.
Oh, most definitely. Yeah.
But yeah, cool. Well, thank you very much for letting me steal you for 10 minutes. So basically, what I wanted to add is that if you decide that medicine isn't where you want to be, if it isn't for you, then you can still find success. There's no harm in going, actually, no, don't want to do that anymore. Like she had shown here, she's doing a PhD.
To analyse the reality of doing those shifts, of being on all those different rounds. And really be honest, is that something you
Yeah.
can do? You know, that's it. And not just because, oh, I want to do this, you know, it's not house. It's not glamorous. It isn't. You know, it's hard work. It's blood, sweat and tears. And you really do have to have a passion, you know, to do that. That's it.
And I think doing your PhD, I think you're still going to have a massive impact in the world, but it's just in the way that you love.
In a different way. I'm contributing still, and I enjoy it. And that's, you know, that's the main thing. We only live once. Don't waste your life doing something that's not going to make you happy. That's it.
No. Yeah. Well, thank you very much. I'm going to wrap it up here. So please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and also check out my WordPress and Instagram pages, because this is where you're going to find most of me blabbering on. Instagram is where you're going to find your daily updates, and WordPress I've kind of done a summary of every week in medical school. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Yeah.